Hello, guys. Good to see you. Happy Monday. We are live and we are talking about how to activate your mix today. So, mixing, you guys, mixing is something that is tricky. I'm not going to lie to you. And finding that even balance in that zone between head voice and chest voice is even harder if you don't understand the most important element that's really essential to activate your mix. So that is exactly what I'm going to share with you today so that you can understand it and you can start to implement and do something about the issues that are happening. So the most important element in activating your mix, believe it or not, is found in your breath support. So you see, if you are having trouble mixing, it is because the strength and consistency of one or both of your registers, head voice and or chest voice, is not balanced. Let me say that again. If you are having trouble mixing, it is because the strength and consistency of one or both of your registers, head voice and or chest voice, the strength and consistency of those is not balanced. And that balance and that consistency begins and ends with your breath support. So I want you to think of this like an Arnold Palmer drink. You guys know the drink, right? It's lemonade and iced tea. I love Arnold Palmer's. And to me, the best Arnold Palmer is the one that has equal parts lemonade and iced tea. Equal parts, because when you mix it together, it's like perfect, okay? And so I want you to understand that if you are having trouble mixing, it is because there is not an equal balance of head voice and chest voice when it comes to that strength and consistency. So just like in Arnold Palmer, if your lemonade is way too strong and there's too much lemonade in there, that's going to overpower the iced tea, and it's not going to be a good blend, a good mix. All you're going to taste is the lemonade and vice versa. And so it is the same when it comes to mixing in your voice, just like it is in making an Arnold Palmer. If either one of your registers is weaker than the other, you're going to have a hell of a time mixing. And that comes back to breath support. So what I mean by that is when you were doing your vocal technique exercises today, I want you to start to notice things that might give you a little tell that your registers are not equally as strong and consistent. Start to notice, do I delay using head voice? Like as I go higher and higher in my range, am I pushing chest voice up as high as I can go because I don't like using I'm pushing chest voice up as high as I can go because I don't really like using my head voice because it feels weaker and I don't really like that sound. So I delay using head voice and I just try to push my chest voice as high as I can go instead. Or maybe the opposite is true. Start to notice, do I go to head voice super low and early in my range? Am I always in head voice, maybe even at the bottom of my range because I'm not comfortable in my chest voice? It feels strange to move even the slightest bit higher in my range in my chest voice. So I don't use chest voice. I'm always in my head voice and I never use my chest voice, right? Both of these scenarios are either end of the spectrum, right? I know a lot of opera singers who do not use their chest voice because they've never been taught how to support it. And I know a lot of pop singers and contemporary singers, sometimes musical theater singers too, who do not use their head voice because they don't feel confident or strong in it. It feels weaker to them because they've never been taught how to support it. And so you have a very uneven access to your entire range, and you're certainly not going to be successful mixing in this context, because if you are someone who only uses your head voice and your head voice is way stronger than your chest voice, there is no mix there. There's no balance there. You can't mix. It's like the iced tea is way stronger than the lemonade and it will overpower it every single time. Can't mix in that scenario. Same thing when the opposite is true. If you constantly push your chest voice higher and you never use your head voice because you don't know how to support it, then that chest voice will always overpower head voice and you cannot get a mix in that scenario. So both of these scenarios are happening because your body is not supporting one of those registers, or maybe even both of them, properly, right? So if you want to have a strong mix, you need to have a really strong and reliable breath support in both your registers so that we don't get a bad Arnold Palmer going on, where one flavor is always overpowering the other. One register will always overpower the other. And then it's impossible, as I've been saying, to get a really reliable and good mix. And the cool thing is that once you have that balance of strength and consistency in your breath support throughout both your registers, to continue then to mix powerfully and reliably, you must continue to follow the golden rule of breath support, which is we do not change or interrupt the flex and flow through our lower muscles of support as we move into and through our mix. Even if both registers are super solid in your support, you guys, if you change the flex and flow of your support, the consistency as you move into mix, then it will take you out. You still, even though you have, reliable power in both your registers, if you're changing your support as you move into mix, then it will take you out because you don't have that consistency. And then what happens is you think, oh, I can't mix. It doesn't work. When really you can. You just have not mastered one of the fundamentals of breath support yet to allow your mix to show up. So that is why September is breath support month. Here in the Pro Singer Success Collective, I want to make sure that you are set up for success. And so next week, I'm doing a free online 3-day breath support reset workshop. This workshop is how to reset your breath support to be a bulletproof engine for your technique so that things like mixing, changing registers, high notes, intonation become way more consistent for you. Guys, this is not old school technique ideas. This is game-changing ideas of how to understand your breath support so that you get to stand out in every audition performance recording you do, because your breath support supports your ability to do that. And so I will be training on breaking down the big breath support mistakes and misconceptions that so many of you are making without knowing it. And I will be giving you the 3 most important technique shifts that you must embody to have reliable breath support from now on, to reset your breath support into way more reliability. So if you are a professional singer, if you are a serious singer, and you are serious about breaking through to the next level of your technique, of your performances, of opportunities, paid opportunities of your singing career, then this reset is where you have to start. And you guys humble yourselves, because I know so many of you have been taught support before, but there are ideas that I promise you that you don't necessarily know that you don't know, which is why you've been dealing with difficulties in your mix, in your intonation, other issues of consistency, perhaps even tension, strain, vocal fatigue, okay? So this is where you start to set that reset. So it is next week, a week from today. We start Monday, September 15th, and we go 3 days, 90 minutes a day each afternoon from, we start at 4 p.m. East Coast time, 1 p.m. Pacific time, the 15th, 16th, 17th, so next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, to help you to reset how you're thinking about and using your breath support for much more consistency. So I'm going to put the link in the chat to register for this free workshop. Whoops. Back. There we go. All right. So if you're watching on Facebook, I am putting the link in the chat right now. And if you are watching on YouTube, by the way, the link to register for the breath support reset is in the description copy for the video. So you can just scroll down and grab it there. And I just put it in the comments for you guys who are watching on Facebook. So get in there. Don't miss that. It's free because I want you guys to understand these ideas and these tools and be able to start working with them right away. And then for those of you who have been here in this live today, do what I said. Start to notice how you've been engaging with your range and your registers to start to notice what your habit is. Do you push chest voice up way too high? Do you stay in head voice way too low? Do you interrupt your support in the moment as you start to bring these mixes in? You need to strengthen both parts of your voice and your range. So if you're somebody who's been pushing chest voice up way too high and afraid to transition to head because it's not as strong, number one, come to the breast support reset. Okay, so that's a great place to start. Number two, start to use your head voice a lot earlier and lower in your range to start to get acquainted with what that feels like. And then get some support, whether it's from me, whether it's from your teacher, around the breast support that has not been consistent in your head voice, which is why you don't like using head voice lower, but you have to start doing that. And same thing for those of you who are in the opposite situation, who find that you are uncomfortable using your chest voice. You have to start using these things to start to understand how it shows up in your body, to also employ the best possible support and what it feels like in those areas of your voice. Because if you're only, if you don't lift any weight, you don't use the thing in this, scenario. Like if you go to the gym, but you don't like use any weight, you're not building any muscle, right? So start using your chest voice. If you're somebody who is scared of it and don't know how to support it, then oh my gosh, get that support. Come to the breast support reset. Start to engage with us in our tribe. Start to ask your teachers why it feels so uncomfortable, right? And if they don't have like very straightforward, very A to B to C techniques around breast support to help you to understand how to use your body to that end, then that's telling, right? Don't pay for training that doesn't serve you. Find something different that gets you results that you want. All right, guys, see you in the breast support reset starting next Monday. Register. The link is in the comments if you're on Facebook. It's in the video description if you're watching on YouTube. Ask me questions if you have them in the comments here. I'm happy to engage and answer. And I will see you in the next live. Bye, everybody. Have an amazing week.